What we're going to do in this short video is explain the difference between angles of elevation and angles of depression. Quite simply, angles of elevation would be when you're looking up at something. Angles of depression would be the angle you're looking down at something. Now, both of those are relative to the horizontal. So when you're doing an angle of elevation, you need to take into account the horizontal and then see how high you're looking up at something. When you're looking at the angle of depression, you need to take into account the horizontal and see what angle you're looking down at something. So these can be used in trigonometric problems. So let's give an example. So the angle of elevation, let's say that we've got a flagpole and we are currently standing 10 meters from that flagpole. Now the flagpole would be quite difficult to measure the height of because we'd have to climb the flagpole in order to calculate its height. However, if we take the angle of elevation, then that means that we'd stand 10 meters from the flagpole and we'd measure the angle that we're looking up at the top of the flagpole, right there, our theta. And so we could then use the trigonometric ratios to work out the opposite over the adjacent side. And if you think through your trigonometric ratios, that's going to be TOA. Remember, the tan of theta is the opposite over the adjacent. And that would be able to be used to find the height of our flagpole, x. The vice versa, or the opposite, can also be the case. Let's say that we're standing on top of a building, and this time we know that the building is 20 meters high. Okay, it doesn't matter how high your building is, but in the distance you see your friend. And so what you could do is you could, from the top of the building, from standing here on the top of the building, work out the angle of depression. There it is, theta. And because you know that a building would make a right angle, you can draw this sort of a triangle, and you know that because the building is high, 20 meters high, from the horizontal, this side here would also be 20, and you would then be able to work out the distance either along the hypotenuse to your friend on the ground or the horizontal distance, how far your friend is from the base of the building. And so you could then use the angle of depression by measuring down, the angle down, in order to make some calculations to work out where the person is standing on the ground, or how far distant the person is standing on the ground. So those are examples of where you could use the angle of elevation and the angles of depression in relation to some trigonometric problems.